subscribe. Tariq Radio. Watch and subscribe.
How many of you are sending your kids to college to go and work on them? Okay, well, guess who is working the farms? So that you can afford your food.
So that you can have food.
So that you can have food. Now, how many of you are looking to send your kids into hospitality after this college education so that they can go and make the beds at the hotels? How many of you are planning to send your kids to college? Because that's what we do here. We send everybody to college. How many of you are planning to send your kids to college so that they can then go and build these houses? So the reality is that so long as we live in a capitalist society, there's always going to be someone or a group of people that will do work that some of the rest of y'all don't want to do. These are the people that are really making us great in this country.
Ms. Kim, want to unmute your microphone?
Hi, Tariq. Wow, it's quite a powerful conversation. Yeah, I posted a couple of pictures and comments in the Purple Pill.
What'd you post?
So I posted a comment about Leland Stanford, who was a railroad tycoon in the Bay Area, and Stanford, that's where Stanford University came from, and he did hire Chinese railroad workers to work on the railroad between Silicon Valley and Northern California. I think it was Tahoe.
Okay.
The Dahmer Pass. So I wanted to put that out there. And then also I'm a descendant of Alvin Coffey, who was a 49er here in Northern California again, Bay Area. Yeah, so I posted a photo of him as well. He documented his travels across the plains and discovered Black Rock. His accounts are at the Society of California Pioneers. He was indoctrinated, as a 49er in 1849, and he is one of the African American slaves that came into California. That's my great uncle. Yeah.
No, that's very interesting. And there was another brother out there in California, William Leedsdorf. You heard of him?
Yes, I did. He's half German. I think his father was German, and that's the other thing too, is that my great uncle, my great grandfather, of course, won't say of course, but he was white, so those two were related. But yeah, so the person you're talking about, can you pronounce his name?
Yeah, Leedsdorf. Yeah.
Leedsdorf. Yeah, I always mix that up.
Yeah, he was a very, very wealthy Black businessman. His mother was Black, his dad was German, but yeah, he built the first schools, period, in San Francisco. A lot of businesses. He built the first major hotel there. He has a lot of white descendants now alive, and they don't like to admit that he's their ancestor, which is real funny style. They were doing a documentary about something, and the family didn't want the public to know that their ancestor, who was building all of these great things in the city, they didn't want the public to know that he was Black. So the family is real hush hush about that now. So this is real funny style stuff. You know?
That's quite interesting because there's a statue of him on Post Street, I believe it's downtown. There's actually an alley also named after him, and there's a lot of history about him. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's interesting about that documentary. I'll have to look that up. Grok also had verified that Queen Khalifa was a mystical queen. And I kind of always wondered if there was any kind of relationship between the Black Madonna and her. But yeah, she was a Black mystical.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's very well documented. Very, very. I don't know why he tried to lie earlier. Oh, she was an Aztec. Stop. Okay.
He just might be misinformed because I think there's a lot of people who have that belief about California's, of course, with their history of Mexico and the Aztecs, Indians. I think it's just hard for people to fathom that. And he's definitely misinformed.
Or they just lie. I don't give liars a pass that like they don't know. They know. They're just lying. Sometimes the motherfucker just lying. And that's all right. We just have to accept them as liars, but it's all good. But thank you so
That's
much, Kim. I appreciate you, dear. Thank you. Yeah, maybe he's just a liar. Okay, sometimes people lie. Shit. Oh, he don't know. Maybe he's a misinformed. No, he's lying, just pulling stuff out his ass. You have brothers and sisters coming up here just smacking them upside the head with facts and citing resources, citing sources, citing books, and you try to get him to cite his horse shit. He just changes the subject. That's when somebody's lying, and they know that they're lying. All right. Oh, everybody raise your hands. Let's raise your hands in here because we are in here deep. We're in here heavy, ladies and gentlemen, having great conversations as we always do. Earlier I was talking about how the Democrats and the Republicans are kind of going back and forth. The Republicans are trying to put a policy together or put a bill out here to kind of threaten states if they were to allocate reparations to um, the descendants of slaves. And what's interesting, the some of the Democrat shills, I guess they call themselves low key celebrating. Yeah, I guess they call that. They're like, oh yeah, what y'all FBA is gonna do now? Y'all should have voted for Kamala. Y'all should have voted for Kamala. Oh, man, get the hell. Listen, Democrat shills, are y'all in here? Do we have any Democrat shills in here? Get on in here. If y'all don't stop, listen, let's be very real. The Democrats, this is not a feather in your hat. The Democrats had the power to pass reparations and they didn't. Why didn't they do it? If you're talking about that's what the Democrats do. They like to kick a can down the road and then wait till the Republicans get in power and then blame them for everything. We're not falling for that trick. We're not falling for that. The Democrats, they funded every other group except foundational Black Americans. You're not going to weasel your way out of that. The Democrats, they're still putting together task force agencies to study instead of cutting these checks. We should have gotten checks a long time ago. Yeah. And the Democrats running around here talking about, aha, where are the Democrat lawyers? Where are all these lawyers that y'all have stumping for immigrants? Y'all have a whole team of lawyers doing things for immigrant groups, and you have a whole team of lawyers doing things for the LGBT community, the white ones. Where are all these Democrat lawyers stomping for the reparations and talking about countering the Republicans who are trying to pass janky bills? You see? Come on now. You're making yourself lose further favor with the black vote. Let's get Governor Bid Mike. Let's get Bid Mike in here. What's up, Bid Mike? Mr. Bid Mike, hop on in. Unmute your microphone.
Hey, Tariq, how's it going?
I'm good, Bid Mike. How are you?
Good. I always enjoy coming in here and listening to you. You have a great gravitas to you.
I appreciate that. The name Bid Mike, what does that mean?
Oh, I help businesses sell their stuff to the government.
Okay, Governor Bid Mike. Okay. That name is very catchy. Gov Bid Mike. That's a very catchy name. But what's on your mind tonight, bro?
Not much. I just came here to listen. Thought I'd say hi since you were inviting people
Oh
up,
yeah.
and I hope everybody's doing well.
Yes, indeed. And we're doing phenomenal. I appreciate you, Bid Mike. I appreciate that. All right, let's get who is this? Derek Quegg. I can't pronounce your name. Derek Quegg. I think that's your name. Derek Quegg. Unmute your microphone, Derek Quegg. Whatever your name is. You just got X on your thing. All right. So he's not saying nothing. So let's try to get Be Black and Independent. And then we'll get Draco Wick. All right, let's get Draco Wick or Be Black, either one. All right, let's get Draco. Draco,
You hear me, brother?
I can hear you, man. What's going on with you?
Nothing much, man. Good to hear from you, man. I've been rocking with you probably since like, man, I want to say like '07 from your
Man,
literature, you stream all that, man. So
love it.
like, I'm like a young OG in the game,
I
you
love
know.
it.
So yeah, but real quick, I just want to knock these points out, man. I wish I could have got up here when that lion conquistador was up here. He was talking about Pangea.
Yeah,
Pangea, that was like 350 million years ago. So him to say we got split up as people because of continental drift during Pangea, that's nonsense. It's not supported by science, geology. It doesn't. It's not supported. The second thing, the lady that came up before I spoke, she kind of touched on Calafia, I believe that's the
yeah,
pronunciation,
Califia.
but I don't know if she Califia, sorry. But I don't think she pointed out. I don't think she emphasized that in that book, she was a black queen, and it was an island of black women.
Right.
So yeah. So for Rigo, he was lying again. That's the second lie he told. You already kind of busted him out on the fact that Mexico only controlled that area where he claimed to be from a short amount of time. But I have one more point, and I'm gonna get up out of here. What you're basically dealing with every time you start a space is called aversive racism. I put that in the purple pill for people to see. You have these people that claim that they believe in egalitarianism and equality, but when it's time to break bread or implement policies that can correct past injustices against Black Americans, then they get their panties get in a bunch for some
Oh
reason.
yeah.
They become armchair economists, philosophers out of the blue, and it's always a reason, or they start pocket watching. Their self pride. I think you pointed this out before. It comes from seeing us in a state of deprivation.
Right.
Uh, right. So there's like a sadomasochistic aspect of racism and white supremacy. But yeah, I'll land my plane there. Just look up aversive racism. That's what it is. They act like they're for equality until it's time to actually fix the wrongs that were done in the past, and they try to attribute it. The way that they do it is they try to do economic arguments, or they say, oh, what are you going to do with the money? So they
Right.
try to find ways around saying they just don't want black people to get it because they don't like black people. But
Real
I land my
talk.
plane there. Thank you for letting me speak.
My man, thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. That's a very good point. Man, a lot of these folks who sit around saying that we should help them in their movements and we should have a coalition. When it comes to us getting compensation that they can't leech off of, it becomes a problem. It becomes a major problem. If they can't glom off of it somehow. See, we do things that are selfless. We don't benefit from no immigration. We don't benefit from that. And speaking of that, did y'all see Jasmine Crockett? Did y'all see her up here talking about, yeah, we need immigrants because we got who's gonna give us our food? We immigrants, they give us our food. They be farming. We don't want to farm. People over here don't want to farm. And the hospitality work and the hotels, who gonna make up the beds? The immigrants, man, we need the immigrants. They do all this stuff that we need. They feed us. Man, if you is this woman an idiot? Is that woman a complete damn idiot, man? I don't want to be mean spirited. I mean, you can't be that much of a shill. They sit up here and talk all of that gibberish and all of these nonsensical bullet points for immigrant groups, but they don't stump for us, boy. They get their walking papers from the white DNC paymasters, and they hold that line heavy. And they sit up here and try to convince us that we need to stump for immigration. And then what do we get? Like the caller who called up, the conquistador, talking about we shouldn't get nothing. California wasn't a slave state. And he's just going talking in circles, babbling nonstop, trying to justify why we shouldn't get reparations. That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. All of that was to just justify why we shouldn't get reparations. We got to understand a lot of these people have economic jealousy of foundational Black Americans. They fear losing their position because they understand, family. Now, I keep talking about this. They understand that they are used as buffers. and they're weaponized against us. They understand this, family. You understand? So if we get reparations, they are fully aware that the white supremacists are going to be like, okay, we don't really need you to be a buffer. We needed you to be a buffer to stop them from getting reparations. Now that they've gotten it, we don't really need you no more. They know that's what's going to come next. They're not going to be the preferred buffer. You see? We got to just call it for what it is. Yeah. And then they try to pull the we did it too. We were building this and we were building that, and you weren't building nothing. You were running to the border to immigrate over here to get what we created. Yeah. That's why they always try to make these comparative narratives about it was Irish and the Chinese and everybody was building the railroads. No, the hell they were not. No, they were not. And we were breaking everything down scholarly, debunking every talking point he had. You see? So we got to stop letting people lie like that. Let me get my good brother Afro Elite up in the place. Brother Afro Elite in the building. Afro Elite, what's happening, fam? Afro Elite. What's up, brother? I can hear you, man. What's going on, fam?
Nothing much, man. I wanted to comment on what you said about Jasmine Crockett. I quote tweeted it earlier. The argument, and this has been something that unfortunately people have been brainwashed with for the last couple decades, that immigrants are coming over taking quote unquote unwanted jobs,
Right.
jobs that nobody else is doing. It's statistically speaking, most of these immigrants, they're not even doing majority of the jobs. They're not even the major population of all of the farmers and the house builders and stuff like that. They just get jobs and contracts from major construction companies and major farmers and things like that, major corporations, because they get paid under the table. So it's
Right.
really illegal labor that the American government allows them to do. And there's not a single job that they do in this country that foundational Black Americans have not been doing before and are still not doing now. There are still Black farmers, Black house builders, Black home keepers, and all of that stuff. So the narrative of those are jobs that nobody's going to do if they don't do it, that's a lie. And it's
Yeah.
only meant to justify them coming over here, illegal immigrants.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, like I said, man, we do them jobs. You're just going to pay us. We will do them jobs. You're going to pay us a living wage. That's what foundational Black Americans do. We get out there and make some noise so that everybody's going to get paid equally. We've already done the slave thing. Not a good look. Everybody's going to have to get paid equally. We'll get out here and organize unions. We were stomping hard on that. We were in the forefront of a lot of that stuff. We want to make sure people are being paid fairly. We gonna say something. You know why? Because we don't have 20 people living in the house as foundational Black Americans, where you can afford to work for pennies under the table because you got all of your entire family, all 48 of them living in one damn house on Section 8. No, we don't do that. We don't do that. You see, we got bills to pay. We have one or two adults in the household paying rent. Two at the most. We don't have a whole bunch of people. We don't do that. You might do it when you're young. You might have three or four roommates, but that's very rare. When foundational Black Americans, we like our space. We don't like to be all packed up on folks. We did that already. We like space, you know. Even family members who need to stay. Like, hey man, how long you gonna be here? You get your shit together yet? How them jobs looking? We're gonna try to get you up out of there. We love you, but it's time for you to go on and get your stuff together and go ahead and make your own way. Even your mama, your grandma, you can't be up under grandma too long. Grandma's like, listen, the deacon comes over here every now and again, and I like to kind of be in my nightgown when he comes over. I don't. There's some things Granny don't want to show you, baby. You need to get on up out of here. You see. So our culture is space. We want space. We want our own space and our own vibe. We ain't trying to have a whole bunch of people living up under us. We want to do things on the sofa.
Rude work, feel that natural flow. Rude work, stay fresh wherever you go. Rude work, I like the way it feels. Rude work, the magic is so real. Rude work, you need it for